Hi, Erica. I hope this helps. We're going to be kind of going through step by step. The thing that you have to remember about parallel is if lines are parallel, you're going to use the exact slope. And if it's perpendicular, so if it's a perpendicular, I'm going to skip this one right now. I'll come back to that one later. But if it's a perpendicular slope, you use the opposite reciprocal. So this one is a slope of -1. So the perpendicular, that's the symbol for perpendicular. You don't really need to write that. That's not important. This would be -1 over 1. Perpendicular slope would be flip it and change the sign. So instead of being negative, it would be positive. So I'm going to be using a slope of 1 there. So if I go on problem number 8, here's my regular slope. Slope is -1/9. My perpendicular slope would be flip it and change the sign. So if it's negative, it becomes positive. So it'd be 9 over 1. Okay. Once you get the slope part going, again, parallel uses the same slope. Perpendicular uses the opposite reciprocal, flip and change the sign. Then you just have to plug it into the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1, where I'm given x1, y1 in the point, and then I find the slope. So this would be y minus -3 equals 2/5 times x minus -3. And then I can write that as plus positive. Now, the directions say write it in slope-intercept form, but actually for your test, you only need it for point slope form. So we could technically stop here. So this would be y plus 3 equals 2/5 times x plus 3. Okay, so kind of the same concept then for the next one. I'm going to find my slope. Because this says parallel, I'll use that slope. And then I have x1, y1. So I do y minus y1, which is 5, equals the slope -4 times x minus -1. Or I'd write that as y minus 5 equals -4 times x plus 1. All right, one of the things that we talked about when it came to slopes is that we can have a slope that is undefined. That means it crosses the x-axis only. So this is an undefined slope. And then we could also have a slope that is 0. It crosses the y only. So that's a 0 slope. And when you have an undefined slope, you only care about the x. And when you have a 0 slope, you only care about the y. So if my line here is x equals 4, that's an undefined slope. And that's my slope is undefined. A perpendicular slope to undefined is 0. So when it's undefined, I care only about the x. When it's 0, I care only about the y. In this equation, this is kind of a different case. I care only about the y. That's sort of, again, a different instance, but undefined and 0 are perpendicular to each other. I don't know if you remember learning about perpendicular lines, but perpendicular lines cross and make a right angle, whereas parallel lines are just lines that never cross. So parallel would have the same slope, perpendicular would have opposite reciprocals. Okay, so to finish that next one, it's the original slope was -1, which is -1 over 1, so the perpendicular slope is +1. Flip it and change the sign, or 1. So I have my x1 and my y1, and it's always the same thing. I go back to that same thing. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So y minus 3 equals the slope times x minus -2. Or y minus 3 equals, I don't have to write that 1 because it's just that x plus 2. And then I can stop there. And that's all I want you to do. You don't need to go any further than that. Just figure out what your slope is and plug it in. I can do the same thing on this next one too. This one is giving me the slope right away. I don't even have to go any further. This is y minus negative 3 equals my slope times x minus negative 5. And so y plus 3 equals negative 1/5 times x plus 5. I'm done. Call it a day. So you just have to kind of use that one formula. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. You'll be given the point, you find the slope. As far as slope formula goes, remember this is y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. So I do negative 3 minus negative 1 over 14 minus 3. So this is my x1, y1, my x2, y2. Those little numbers just mean 0.1, 0.2. And then I can do my math. Negative 2 over 11, that would be my slope. I'll let you kind of work through that. If you have any more questions, just let me know. If you want to even just check to see if you did okay on an answer, let me know. But again, just running through briefly, for problem number 2, your slope is negative 1 because it's going to match the slope because it's parallel. For number 4, your slope is negative 2/3 because it's going to match the slope. For number 6, this slope is 1 over 1. I want the perpendicular slope, and that is flip it and change the sign. So negative 1 over 1. And then we already did the last one. The slope was negative 1/9. We flip and change the sign and use 9. Again, I could use this as negative 1 and use this as 9. Once you have your slope for all those, just put it in the formula. This is my x1, this is my y1. Plug it into that formula. Again, if you have any questions, just email me again and we'll figure something out. But see if you can run through the evens and turn that in as your assignment. All right, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.